Okay, this is going to be a real quick comparison of some Overdrive pedals. I'm going to be comparing the one that I normally use with my Strat, which is a Wampler Paisley, versus some other widely available choices that are pretty affordable, used kind of pedals. So we got the classic, the Ibanez Tube Screamer. This is the TS9. Got the Boss SD1 Super Overdrive, got the Digitech Bad Monkey, got the Boss Blues Driver BD2, and the TC Electronic Cinders. This is an American Strat, and I'm running it on just the bridge pickup. This is going through a Fender Blues Junior with a room mic, and against the grill, just a single Audix i5. So as a guitarist, I'm not, despite all that nonsense, which is just what you're supposed to say when you do a shootout, list everything. As a guitarist, I'm not particularly savvy about pedals, about gear, about guitars, about amps, and I rely very heavily on the opinions of the more talented guitarists that I play with. I'm mostly a singer and a drummer, and guitar is kind of my second instrument. So I have allowed myself to be very influenced by what Gene Gustin likes in terms of pedals. So he recommended the Paisley to me, and I like it a lot. And I've been also very influenced by John Speranza, my longtime guitarist in Denver, and Flip Nasty and Rook, in terms of guitars. So I became a Strat player, favoring Strats because he favored Strats and I loved his tone. So anyway, here's the clean tone, and I'll be playing snippets from our song Thin, that's going to be on our forthcoming Red Rocket album. Here's the Wampler. Here's the Tube Screamer, and it should be noted here that I've boosted the highs on the Tube Screamer a little bit. Here is the Boss Super Overdrive. Here's the Bad Monkey. Here's the Blues Driver. And finally, the Cinders. So here is just one more test whereas before I was putting all of the gains at about 10 o'clock, now I'm going to crank them up to like 3/4, so like a 3 o'clock kind of config, and let's see how they hold up when they're a little more saturated. This is the Wampler. Here is the tube screamer. The Boss Super Overdrive. The Bad Monkey. Here's the Blues Driver. And finally, here's the Cinders. Okay, so just some quick final impressions. That was a lot closer than I thought it would be. And there were some nice surprises. I still think that the Paisley is probably the best of them. And that's to be expected. It has a couple extra controls, a couple extra features, some switches that allow some contouring and some presence, some extra presence, and that's something that I like. That sort of clarity really is the sound I'm going for. I would say that the Blues Driver, when comparing the lower gain to higher gain setting, is the next best. With it really starts to shine at a higher gain setting and remains very clear throughout. For the low budget ones, I'd say, which really I'd count as the Super Overdrive, the Bad Monkey, and the Cinders, all of those are ones you can find used for under $50 pretty regularly, sometimes as low as like $30 or $35. I'd say that the Cinders was a very pleasant surprise in terms of its clarity. The Bad Monkey, I like that as a feature. It has two EQ knobs. It's got a low and a high that allows you to get a little more flexibility with the shape you're creating. The Super Overdrive I expected to be the most disappointing because it has a bad reputation, and even I know that. But I actually thought it was easy to use. It sounds real clear. This is not a modded version, it's just a factory version, and I actually think that it kind of outclassed the Tube Screamer. I think that today I was not getting the tone I wanted out of that Tube Screamer. I found it to be consistently muddier than the others, and I would have to spend some time dialing that in. So while they're all good pedals, I'd have to say that from worst to best today, it probably goes Tube Screamer, and then a real tight heat between Super Overdrive, then Bad Monkey. I'd actually say it's like Cinders, Bad Monkey, Blues Driver, and then the Paisley. So that's how I felt about it. You may feel a little differently, but anyway, thanks for watching.